One man's flirt, depending on how he looks and presents, is another man's sexual harassment.
Yes, yes.
And we are not doing a good job as women being able to explain why it's sexual harassment versus being an attractive opportunity. Men are frustrated. Men are not understanding what is the difference and why am I a threat if I'm being kind to you. So because of your behavior, women, I am now going to pull back my finances and resources. I'm now going to reduce my presence. I'm going to reduce my intentions, my efforts, because I don't want what my intentions are in terms of creating connection with you to be misconstrued as sexual harassment because you don't like how I look. I'm not your type. I remember going out with it was a bunch of women and men. And one of the ladies, this is back in like 2017, a guy was walking, we're all in a group and the women were in front, the guys were being gentlemen standing in the back. And one gentleman, he began to pick up his pace, come to the front to open the door on our behalf. And one young lady was just like, excuse me, I can open my own door. And I told her, I said, speak for yourself. I'm fine if he opens the door. That is confusing and chaotic for a man. Men need consistency. Men are very simple, right? Once, you know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, what you want, I got you. So what women need to realize is that if you feel like men are no longer princes and they're a bunch of frogs, it's because we have made them into toads. Mm-hmm. Women have turned the princes into toads. We have become the frog farmers. We are the ones that told men, I don't want you to be a prince, you can be a frog. So that is our responsibility collectively as women. I know every woman doesn't do it, but we need to speak in generalizations because then it gets too dicey. But that's what has happened. We have made it okay for men to give us the bare minimum. We have lowered our standards and men are not creating this. They are responding to this. That's the part that women need to own. That is why the red pill community is successful. That's why it exists, because it is true. Women reject the construction worker who might have a little bit of a dad bod, right? He might have a little bit of a dad bod, but he's hardworking. He's fairly attractive. He's 5'11", so he doesn't have all the sixes. He's not 6 foot tall with a 6-pack and 6 figures, right? But he's fairly attractive, but she doesn't want him. Not because he's not a good candidate and not because he's not good enough, but because women are wired. We have a very nasty mindset, unfortunately. We are very critical. We are very judgmental. We are doing it because we want the other women around us to respect our fly based on the man that we're with. Mm. It's a lot of projection around what other people are going to say about who this man is to me. That's a problem. That is a massive problem for mainstream America. Certainly when you're arrived at a certain echelon, you can think like that. And people who are at that top echelon are the ones who are dominating the podcasts. So you have high echelon people having these conversations around how they pick. Mainstream people are consuming this information, mm-hmm. and they're trying to adopt these ways. It's not going to work for you, mama. You don't qualify because you are really thick. You went and got a BBL and now you look like Donkey Kong. Very broad up here, okay. Tiny little waist, mm-hmm. Big bottom, right? And I can say that, right? Like some guys may not want to say that, but I'll say it, right? Y'all looking like Donkey Kong out here. You know what I'm saying? And now you want to be treated like you are size 6, upper echelon. It just doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. You're not really going to be able to have that. And same thing for some of the gentlemen, right? Overweight, right? Your social cues are off. Right? You're not charismatic. You cannot hold a conversation. You're not adding depth. You can't get the 10. Mm-hmm. Why are you looking for the 10? Who are you to look for the 10? Why are you judging a woman who can get a 10 because she doesn't want you? We need to be more realistic. That's what's going on. So in that regard, I understand why men are frustrated with women, because women have made it impossible for men to be able to observe, how do I stand in my masculine frame as a man to pursue you, to be the protector, provider, if you're constantly rejecting me and I don't even know why?
To touch what you were saying, I feel like personally there's a sliding scale on the bare minimum. And like you said, a decent man or decent looking man, start with looks start with looks and then finances,
Mm-hmm.
his bare minimum could be the maximum for a non handsome person,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I feel that we see this, and some of us know that we are in a higher percentage,
Mm-hmm.
um, and some of us do take advantage of it.
Right.
But it's also the fact that we see the bullshit that you guys are feeding each other.
Yes.
Because I see on a daily basis that saying how you feel is what's sassy for a man,
Yeah.
and then walking on the outside is sassy, because holding an umbrella is sassy. Like, there's a whole new thing of sassy, and then
Right.
I just learned what simp was.
Mm-hmm.
I got called a simp in the comments. I was like,
Right.
"What's a simp?" I thought he meant pimp,
Right.
but nah, simp.
Typo.
So why does it always feel like men are being tested by women?
Sure. So, yes, there is something called feminine testing, right? That's what I call it, but the Red Pill Society, they call it shit testing. And basically, a woman is so the Bible will say that the woman is the weaker vessel, right? Mainstream society will say that we are vulnerable, right? We're more vulnerable physically, we're vulnerable. We don't have as much testosterone as you do, right? And even when we do get an increase in our testosterone, right? When we're ovulating, it's for about a week, right? So what you get for 4 weeks out of the month, we get for a week, right? When we're at our best. As a result of being vulnerable, feeling vulnerable, you're constantly checking for safety. And if I'm going to sit down and I want to know if I'm going to be safe, I'm going to shake the chair. I'm going to shake the table a little bit. I want to see, can it thrive? Can it survive this pressure? So one of the things I will constantly tell men, hear me good, please. Please stop telling women that you are scared of them. Like, I was scared to approach you. I was scared to talk to you. You know, you look so attractive. I was afraid. Stop telling women this, because if you are afraid of me, how are you going to protect us? Because I'm my least threat in my eyes. But if I'm your greatest threat, why would I submit my life to you in your hands? That doesn't make any sense. So I really want men to stop saying things like that. I understand what you're meaning to say, but that's not a great way to convey your masculine strength. So with that being said, she's going to test if you are where your strengths are. That's one. Two, women feel the most comfortable with truth. And what happens is, as a man, as the masculine, where you may compartmentalize your truth, right? As you begin to grow in relationships and you recognize, if I tell this woman all this information, she is going to flip out. She's not going to be okay. I don't trust that she's going to be able to emotionally regulate herself, so I'm going to give her a part of the truth. In her intuition, she may sense that there's more to the story that's not being said. And so she'll continue to sift. She'll continue to pull and to kind of like draw water out of the well, so to speak, or draw information out of you. Or God forbid you say something and she's just like, wait a minute, you didn't say that the last time that we spoke.
Yes.
Or where's this receipt from? You don't even like Burger King. So what's this receipt doing in the car? Right? And so you start to struggle. And so what she is looking for is absolute truth, not a part of the truth, the complete full truth, because she wants to know that her reality is being protected. Anytime you lie, you're stealing someone's reality. You are a thief. She wants to know that she is in safe company. And the safer a woman feels is according to how much truth he shares. I get it. I already know what y'all men about to say. Women can't handle the truth. What we cannot handle, what you deem as we cannot handle the truth, is our natural mode. Men like women and they love vagina, but they don't get women. And a lot of men don't even like women. They don't even like the essence of a woman. Her emotional bandwidth, right? That softness. If you want a woman to be soft, if you want her to be feminine and penetrable, what do you think that's going to look like? She's not going to look hard and firm all the time. So you have to embrace and hold space for her emotions if you want a feminine counterpart, right? And so if you want her to be soft and you want her to be feminine, then she needs to know that she is safe. So that is why a woman will consistently shake. Third reason is because a woman is excellent at processing data and basically mimicking, for lack of better terms, or modeling, right? Copycatting, right, would be the layman's terms. So as an example, for me as a woman, over time when I study my man, I know how he wants his plate of food. Right? So it's always so interesting when you see a woman that's come out of a relationship into her next relationship, she's going to prepare the next man's food the way she prepared her last man's food. So if her former boyfriend liked gravy on his right, like the gravy on top of the rice, but her new man wanted on the side, she doesn't know that yet. So she's going to present him the plate with the gravy on top of the rice, and he might correct her and say, "No, I don't like my food that way." So she'll learn how to prepare his food. So another reason why a woman is testing is because she wants to know what the culture of this relationship is, this dynamic. So she's going to be testing to see what is going to be consistent. What is this consistent mode? And if there is anything inconsistent, she's going to point it out.